Hi, I'm gonna teach you something in case anything happens to me. Certain drugs can be good and certain drugs can be bad. There's different times to use them. Marijuana, for example, certain strains can help you go to sleep, maybe after you work out. Some strains can relax you before yoga, and some can make you concentrate more. It's important for these things to be regulated to a point. It's important for you to be able to experiment with these things, except you don't really have the time to do that. Other drugs are not good for you, and they're not even real drugs. Let's take cocaine, for example. Cocaine doesn't really exist anymore. It's from Bolivia. And because it's so regulated and the misunderstanding with it, and the mismarketing due to movies like Blow and other things that kids follow, there's no such thing as pure cocaine anymore, and if there was, you're not getting it. First of all, before it even gets to this country, it's 50% cut. Second of all, cocaine should never crunch, and most likely is cut with methamphetamine. And methamphetamine is a horrible drug that within 3 uses will make you lose your teeth, enable you to be raped, and also make you go crazy. It will make you schizophrenic and melt away your brain after about 30 or more uses. I don't want to discourage you, but when it comes to hoarders and some other very bad things and people having baby teeth, that's because of methamphetamine. It might seem cool because of shows like Breaking Bad, but do not misunderstand that that is not something you want. Heroin can be used in good ways too, but mostly you're unable to control it, and that's that. If heroin was consistent, it wouldn't be such a bad thing, but it's impossible for it to be consistent due to the fact that you don't know who you're buying it from. There's white china, there's homegrown, there's brown heroin, and then black tar. It takes about 2 times to do it, but ultimately you can't monitor it. And when you do drugs, you're in vulnerable situations that enable you to catch disease, and you don't have control over yourself. And the mismarketing of drugs might make one think that all drugs are bad, and sometimes they can be. Pretty much all FDA drugs have so much money behind them that 20 years later they find out they did horrible things, but they have so much money it doesn't matter anymore. They're on to the new drug. A good way to reprogram yourself is to know yourself and take mushrooms in a safe spot. Preferably by yourself if you can do that. Watch these videos and reprogram yourself. That's the real reason why they don't want you doing drugs. It's because they've spent all your life programming you to do this, then to go recess, and then to have a small tiny lunch break, and then to work for them, and then to go home while they fuck your beautiful women and use your innocent children for work. Child labor happens with churches. Churches need to not exist anymore because they have illegal labor. They do not pay taxes, and they have no place in America. They never have. At the very minimum, we need our rights to be followed up on, executed, and instilled. It's not that hard to follow the Constitution unless you're trying to do some shady stuff like enslave Americans. This started about 30 years ago. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers need to change their last names, but they're too hard to find. Therefore, it's easy to see slave masters. Everyone in a Mercedes is your enemy. everybody that didn't start from 0 point and uses the lie of credit is your enemy. We need to start from this and then grow. Other people use things like religion to make them feel better because the human body needs to do things in order to be rewarded by making your mind think that you're doing something for the better when really there's nothing there, and preachers are just trying to get rich, and everybody in church looks at you and judges you for not giving them money that's untaxed. That provides a false reward. If you're a part of a religion, they want your money, whether it's modern day Buddhism, whether it's Catholicism, especially Mormonism. They'll have their own governments, and they're not American. It's false strength. It's false knowledge. And if you're going to college for a religion, you're not learning anything. You're just learning and being programmed. An imaginary thing that isn't real. That probably is not the way to go for a forward moving society. I'm assuming that you're a critical thinker. I'm assuming that you have some sort of education and you understand that the earth is not the center of the universe, that the Vatican has had control for such a long time. I'm assuming you can think for yourself. And at some point, you're going to want to stand for something. You're going to want to look a woman in the eyes and tell her you can protect her, but actually mean it. Not lie to her and use her and then leave her hanging when she has a kid. That you actually can protect a woman. That you're not part of a cult. That the churches and religions are going to keep changing their story until they get your money, which isn't really anything. You have knowledge. You know a little bit about history. You know that Jesus was a martyr. You know that most likely Moses had Jews kill babies via poison. You understand how to think critically. You have the education. You speak some type of language. You understand that the Tower of Babel is a story to keep us from talking to one another. And people that are in power right now want to put you down, and you see my hands going over your body all the way from your head down to your feet, open-handed. Relax. We're gonna make it through this. We have to fight. We have to win. And I'm gonna give you the tools how. Buy my book. 100% for free. How to win. We can do this. You can do this. I can do this.